Welcome back to another Pocket Change podcast, episode 93. Slowly reaching the 100 mark. Once we get to 100, I think we get syndication, or I guess that's the way old television used to work, but you never know.
I wish that was the case on here.
Yeah.
But again, we're just doing it because we love you guys, every one of you listening, and yeah, that.
Yeah, it's something to do. You know? Hey, what else do we do?
Something for him to do.
Yeah, I'm bored. Yeah, you got all this stuff in your life. All I got is Pocket Change.
Change. It is good to see you, my friend, and
Good brother.
hello to everyone out there who is listening on Spotify or iTunes, watching on Spotify.
Watching on
I think
Spotify. Yeah,
we're
we're
there
video on
now,
Spotify.
and then watching and listening here on this glorious YouTube thing. Still trying to talk Ben's into getting us
And if
the
you made it
little
this far on YouTube,
YouTuber
thank you.
bobbleheads.
Yes, we relaunched the channel. Been like, I don't know, less than a week. We have 6 subscribers.
Yes. But it could be a slow process on a start over, but there you go.
Right.
Anyway,
All right, brother. How was your week?
I sold one thing again. Basically, I can go over that as well. That actually occurred today. My computer is acting weird, dude. I'm a little afraid to go over here to go to eBay. Can you still see me and hear me all right?
Yeah, I can see and hear you fine, man.
All right, I got to find all the cookies.
Accept them all.
But it keeps, I don't know, this is weird. Like it doesn't want to come up halfway. It comes up like old school HTML. We'll see what's going on. Anyway, so yeah, I just sold today a Navy, it's got the Navy crest on it, pocket watch. So that's my one sell for the week.
Cool.
I don't know what my net profits would be yet on it because I have not shipped it yet. I know that gross on it's $20.49, but again, that's pretty much it for me. It's been a real slow week, and we talked about it. I think on I don't know when our next picker pass comes out or if it's
Comes
out.
out for the.
We talked about it. I'm still selling similar, still trying to get things going, making a lot of progress on my office area, and just like you made a lot of office or a lot of effort in getting your warehouse garage in shape. That's what I'm trying to do because I really want 2025 to be the year that I don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. So in order to do that, I know now where I need to go, or at least I've got a good idea where I need to go and what I need to do with it. But and I got to get selling more. I was selling quite a bit, so that taught me a lot. Now, of course, I'm down, but I know why. It's listing.
Yeah, for sure.
I did try the little thing that you were talking about where instead of scheduling listing, go in and do drafts and then go in and list them all. That actually worked a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
So it did work a lot better. The problem I see is I don't know why eBay is doing that to us because it punishes you if you are not a full-time reseller. It's like they.
Well, you can still draft 100 of them or whatever. You get time to do them, draft them, and then just drop whatever you're dropping every day.
Yeah, but the problem is you got to have time to go in and drop them. You don't want to drop them. I do mine at night. I don't want to drop them at midnight. There's few people to look at them. So you want to drop them during particular times of the day when you know people are going to be looking at it. And what I've found is most of the best time to have yours drop is while people are at work here on the East Coast around 10:30ish, because by that time they've been at work a little bit, they've done a little bit of work. Now the boss is wandering around or something else, and they're getting on eBay because they're not working. And then usually about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, those are good times, and that's when I see peaks. Now I don't know about I don't know. It did work better. We'll see if I can keep it going on that. We'll see. But so how was your week?
My week was good. Started listening again this week. Excuse me. I sold 29 things. Average sale price. Excuse me. Average sale price was $33.82, or a total of $980.85.
Yeah, you can't beat that. What was,
No.
and that's your, now that is your gross or your
Yeah.
sub. I don't know. I've never known. Maybe we should ask my wife, how do you categorize that? Because I know, is that your gross before your eBay fees or after your eBay fees?
That's my gross before my eBay fees. After my fees, I take out all the inventory. I made about $600. So
Still not a bad week. Not a bad
not a
week at
bad
all
week.
for most people. But you got back to listen. What was your average list per day?
It wasn't consistent, but it was every day. The best day I did 60. Every other day I did at least 20. And you know what? Today I didn't list because I watch football. Because you love football and I love football. And the Eagles game's on at 8 o'clock, so I was really happy we're going to do this early so I can watch the football game instead of be here staring at your pretty face.
Ah,
Yeah, I should have listed all day today, but I didn't. I ate wings and pizza and sat on the couch, which I felt so. I feel like I'm not doing enough. Everybody's, you got to list minimum of 10 a day. I think if you're only listing 10 a day, you're part time.
I think so too. I do.
Unless you're listing $100 things and you're listing $1,000 a day, then good to you. Good to find those. Good thing. But I listed that day. I listed about 60 things. I put about $1,000 worth on eBay. But some of them were low end stuff. But I have a lot of gas caps that I got in a buyout. That I have 6 of the same gas cap. Now they only sell for $8.95, but I make one listing and then I sell that 6 times.
Yeah, but so how many things do you? How many things do you have listed now? Total.
Like 3,500.
Is that including your media or?
That's including everything.
Okay.
I've been listing pretty consistently the last week, and I was doing good there for a while. Then I stopped and did the garage. I'm just really getting back to listing. My goal is to have 5,000 items, including everything, by the end of the year.
I think that's entirely possible.
And I know
And
I was listing stuff this week, and I sold a few of those things, but I sold a lot of things that have been there for a while. I really do believe if you list, you're active. I also had a couple other things I want to talk about later that weren't great this week.
I have a question now. Getting back to my old saying, you sell
Hmm.
what you list. Those things that you sold that were not new listed, were they in the same categories as things you had listed? That's something I'm trying to put together.
I did sell stuff in that category, but I didn't predominantly sell in that. I sold a bunch of. See, I think it's the time, right? So I'm selling some toys I've had out there for a while. I'm selling some video games. I'm selling some sealed VHS and sealed stuff. I think those are gifts. I think they're buying gifts. What I listed this week was mainly in the auto category. And then I listed some mugs, which I'm hoping somebody might want to buy somebody an Orioles mug for $11.95 on CJ Ben's Finds for Christmas.
That's not even. I know I sent you a text the other day trying to see if you had one.
I know, and I went through my listings. I don't, but I have 40 boxes of sockets to go through. So I'm sure I have a 19 millimeter deep socket. I just don't have.
I never got a response. So there you go.
I was like, I'll go through those boxes, and then I realized, you know what, I'm not. It seems like a lot, and I had 2 boxes here that aren't listed. The rest of them are in the storage unit, and I'm like, yeah, I got other things to do.
You could at least respond and say, "Yeah, I got other things to do." He ended up
No,
going.
I didn't mean it
He
that
ended
way.
up going and buying one at a local store anyway, so I guess it worked out. But I did get somebody that probably going to add you as their
Cool.
as one of their stores to follow because I said he's got a lot of tools and auto stuff and all
I
that.
thought you were asking for yourself. I know it was for a customer.
As for a customer, I knew
figured
I
I'd
didn't
talk to
have
you
one.
later and be like, okay, what do you need this for? How important is it? And should I divert myself 6 hours worth of labor into trying to find you a socket, which I would do if it was for you, but for someone else, I don't know.
You hear that? Nah, I was just trying to see if if you didn't have it listed, that's fine. If you'd have had one listed or had one handy that you could list right there, I was going to say, hey,
Yeah.
it's sold. But it is what it is. Sounds like you still had a pretty good week though.
Oh, I
For
did,
sale
and I got a
was.
lot done. I had a busy week switching over the videos because I didn't get verified, so I can only do 10 a day. So I have to do those 10 a day. And then I made a video for the CJ Benz Find, which is my new idea on shipping packages, sipping and shipping. First video's out. Not the best.
Yeah, you
I'm
do
taking
need
this
some better
course that
equipment.
says, hey, you need to start and then you can improve from there. And I set my bar very low with that video. It's perfect.
Well, I did watch it.
Improve by 1% every video. I have probably like 337% to increase from there. 1% better each time.
You need some better equipment. I did listen to it, and yes, you can hear that thing.
I got rid of that.
It
It's already
sounds
gone its
like
way
the
back to Amazon. I
motor.
bought a new one.
Yeah, it sounds like the motor is burning out of that thing. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's brand new. What is going on here?
But anyway, go enjoy all the grinding for those of us that are technically inclined. But okay, cool. So I had a normal week for me. We'll call it my normal week, and you had a normal week for
Busy week.
you.
Yeah, busy.
Our normals are way different levels.
The crazy thing is, for how many years have I known you, and how often have you worked harder than me? Hours at work.
Oh, now wait a minute.
Zero. I
Now,
mean, because
hey,
for 2 months I didn't have a job, and now you're like, oh, I worked so hard, I spent so many hours at work. What are you talking about?
well,
I used to
now,
work
now,
14 hours a day, every day,
now, wait a
7 days
minute.
a week.
Whoa. You
Even
have
when you were doing really well and you
you,
had your stuff
you
going, you
have to
still weren't working that
define.
many hours. You
You
just worked
have to.
smarter, not harder.
I try that all the time. Now there was a time period though when I was working and in hotel rooms, and you and I were talking, and I was gone all the time.
Yeah.
You and I talked like all the time because I was in a hotel room. I get off with my wife because she had to go to bed. You and I would talk till 2 o'clock in the morning because
Wait a minute. You're in a hotel room where you got off with your wife? What did you just
got
say?
off the phone with my
Okay, just
wife
making sure.
or Skype.
Then,
Yeah, let me
okay.
clarify there.
There, off with your wife, then you go talk to me on the phone afterwards. But we were getting the play-by-play. I'm not sure. This seems a little weird.
Anyway,
All the rest of the
I
answers,
think you have to define work.
I agree. I'm just giving you a hard time. All the rest of the answers is your sale of the week, your this, your that, is
It'll be that Navy watch.
the Navy watch. Okay. So I won't put you through that this time. So I'm going to run through mine real quick. I mean, it's painful, the last three videos. I guess, what do you got? What do you got for? I'm not going to even ask. I'm just going to say, hey, my sale of the week was zebra labels. I sold a lot of 16 of them for $144.95, including shipping. And I did the free shipping on that because I can fit them into the priority box. I know it's going to cost me $20.27 anywhere in the U.S. So I just built that into the price. Plus, I've sold them twice already, and both times they ordered them priority so they could get them. And the one time it was going to Puerto Rico priority, and it charged him $97. And
That's
then
one of the
that's my
ones you was talking about. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so then I was like, oh, that's not fair, but hey, whatever. So then I figured I could put him in that. And I was like, oh, and then when I was looking at it, it was going to cost me like $70. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I was like, oh, I got these different sizes. Wonder if I can fit it in that. I could, and it was doing 15. And I figured I'd get 16 there, so I threw an extra roll in for him and sent it to him. But then it turned out that was a reshipper, and he got mad. It was a whole thing. So that's my best sale of the week. What is your
Don't say feedback of the week because I haven't got any new.
feedback of the week?
What is your buyer of the week? The guy who bought the Navy watch. What is your feedback of the week? Don't have any yet.
What is your comment of the yeah? What's your favorite buyer of the week? Would have to be that guy. My favorite buyer of the week this week is Smarty Pants for You.
Oh,
The
I
guy
like
bought
that.
something from. Yeah, for now on. My favorite buyer of the week is going to be the coolest name. It was a throw up this week though because there was another one, but Smarty Pants for You won it, and the other one that I was thinking about doing was Cape Cod Richard. But I figured he's a dick because he lives in Cape Cod and his name is Richard. That actually my favorite
Poor guy. Just
feedback of
because
the
his
week.
name's Richard, you got to be a dick.
And my favorite feedback name of the week is the one that I don't want to pick because it was a negative feedback.
Oh, you got a negative feedback?
Yoda Wisdom 1.
What
Yeah,
did
I
you
got one of my first
wisdom?
negative feedback at 494 feedbacks. Boom, I got a negative one.
What was the? Do I venture to ask what it was? What did they
It
complain
was
about?
oh, okay, so it was for a video game, Grand Theft Auto, PlayStation 1. So I sold it to him for $12.95. And it says this is the feedback. This came scratched to the point where it would only load the first cutscene and then get stuck, which I don't believe because I double check them all. I didn't say it was tested. I don't test them because I don't have the equipment to test them, but I look at them, and if they're scratched, I throw them out. So I don't believe that's true. And he said, but it's okay. I'm going to resurface it. Maybe you didn't check it before you shipped it, or maybe you'll send me something else to make up for it. Maybe. We'll see. Let you know if I can fix it or not. No worries. All good. That's my feedback.
I wouldn't send this guy squat.
That's my question, though. I'm not gonna send him squat. If he would have sent me a note, I would have just given him his money back, and that'd be the end of it.
Yeah.
He could have it for free. But he never complained, and I know why he didn't complain because it's 37 days after he bought it that he finally left me feedback. So he couldn't ask for a return, and I couldn't ask him to return it. So I feel like that's extortion. Maybe you'll send me something else to make up for it.
I feel like that's a
Maybe.
little bit too. I think you should report that to eBay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. I'm not sure if that is truly extortion because he doesn't come out and say, "Hey, if you give me something, I'll fix this." But and he waited till it was beyond the time that I could have done anything for him.
Right.
And I don't believe he had it sitting there for 37 days. I think this is his spiel. So,
What's his name? What's his handle? What's his handle? Not his name, but his handle or whatever. We used to call it IGNs.
his IGN is Yoda's Wisdom 1, which is a cool IGN. And he has
Yoda.
1,477 feedback.
I'm gonna want to see that because I'm gonna block that guy. He's never buying squat from me because I think this is his spiel. I think he waits and then complains and hopes that you send him something. And I think a lot of other resellers probably do. Oh, please, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think there is some people out there that do that. And I do sell video games. I don't sell PlayStation 1 video games. Maybe he's not moved up to PlayStation 3s yet.
Maybe.
But
All his feedback is good. I went through it. I was looking for it, trying to see if there was somebody else who said something. Maybe it was scratched. I don't know. A hard time believing it was scratched to that level that I wouldn't have
the point
noticed
is, he didn't go through eBay protocol, in my
it. Yeah, no,
opinion.
he didn't.
And so that we like to highlight good buyers. We don't ever like to talk about bad buyers. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, you need to understand. I have had several people contact me. I talked about it last time. I had a guy contact me. His watch is finicky. Da, da, and I was like, yeah, I know. It's the brand. It's the way they did things back in the day. It can be finicky. How are you doing this? How can I? And I ended up just saying, basically, look, just you can ship it back to me for a full refund, which I knew he wasn't going to do. Or here, it's not worth. I made $4. I made like $4.30 off of it. It wasn't worth it to me, so I gave him back the $4.30 and gave him a coupon. So, and he was happy. He was tickled. And he's actually left me good feedback now. I could go read it. Maybe he's my feedback of the week. I think I read it last time. Yeah, I did. I read it last time. So, eBay protocol is basically
Yeah.
if you have a problem with it, and that's why they give you like 30 days to contact the seller. That's a long time, honestly. Most places, Best Buy, I'm going to call them out. I will never buy anything at Best Buy ever again. My wife bought me a gift years ago. I used to buy stuff from Best Buy all the time. Loved them. My wife bought me a gift for Christmas. She bought it on December the 15th. I opened it up on December the 25th, Christmas Day. We got ready to go somewhere. It was a little thing you plugged into your vehicle so it made your stuff Bluetooth so I could play my music through it because I had an older vehicle that didn't have any of that. So she
Mm-hmm.
bought it for me. Spent, I think it was like 25, $30, something like that at the time. Those things have come way down now because nobody needs them. I went to take it back because it didn't work. Okay, it didn't work. So I put it back in the box and I took it back 2 days later. And they go, no, we won't take this back. We won't give you a refund. It's been over 10 days. I'm like, but I have the receipt, but it's been over 10 days. I'll pay a restocking. I just want to exchange, really, what I want to
Yeah.
do.
Give me one that
Because
works.
I want one that works. We won't
Yeah.
exchange. We won't do nothing. And I was like, you know what? Screw you. You're selling stuff for Christmas gifts and you won't take them back after 10 days. So what? Somebody should come in here December the 20th, 24th on Christmas Eve and buy it so that gives you
Yeah.
10 days in case it don't work. You're being ridiculous. But anyway, so since then I've never bought a single thing from Best Buy. That's been 5 years and I found out I don't need them. And I hope, honestly, I've heard they're having trouble. I hope they go out of
Yeah.
business.
Everybody figured out they don't need them anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah. Best done.
I hope Best Buy completely goes out of business. I apologize to employees that work there, but you work for a crappy company. That's just
But when they close, you can just go piss on the building.
I
That's what
might
I
go
would do.
piss on the building before they close. I'd like to piss on their carpet. I would, but anyway, I'd like to go write my name on their freaking TVs. I'm telling you how I really feel about Best Buy. But the
That's why
eBay,
you're better off because you're Joe. I had to write Jefferson. That's a lot more letters.
yes,
That's
it's this is 4 letters for me.
Pissing in the snow and just
But
Jeff. The only time I'm just Jeff is when I'm pissing in the snow.
here's the thing: you need to drink more water. Here's the thing:
No, I like it golden. I don't.
eBay really bends over backwards to give the buyers a chance to contact the seller. This guy didn't, obviously. 37 days
Yeah.
later, excuse me, there's really nothing you can do about it except just, but I do think his comment is a little bit extortion.
Well, and
I
I would click on there and respond, but I on other podcasts because I've never had. This is my first bad feedback. If you click on there and respond, you report the person. Whatever you say goes to that person as well. So you know that.
I would accuse him of extortion.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, let me think about this first. Do I do it there, or is there another place to report it?
He's probably gotten the reason he's phrasing it the way that he is probably because
He's gotten in trouble
he's
before.
gotten in
He's like, oh,
trouble.
I was just saying, maybe you do something because it didn't work. I'm like, you know what? I gave you 30 days to send it back.
Yeah. I completely. And there's the thing. I know when we first started, I said I would never block any buyers, but I've gotten up to where I've blocked 3 buyers now. I have, and I will continue from this point forward to block buyers that I don't trust and don't like. And the reason I pretty much like everybody, but when you do stuff like continuously lowball me at 70, 80% off, I'm going to block you. Not going to waste my time. I'm going to block you because there are buyers who will do that. And you and I've actually read news about it. They will do that
Yeah,
kind of thing. Then they will come back and buy the item at a regular price and then leave you negative feedback. I'm
yeah.
not going to take a chance on that. So I'll just block you. If you're going to be a butt, I'm going to block you.
Yeah.
And
So this week I got my first negative feedback, and I got a return that cost me $55. I'm like, man, this is not a good week.
it was a good week, but
No, that return wasn't. The person bought it. They didn't complain. I didn't refund them back to shipping, so hopefully I don't get another bad feedback. But they bought an item thinking it was the item they needed, and then said, "Oh, I didn't need this. I didn't need the power supply. I needed a different part to make my system work. So I'm returning it." I paid for the return back to me, which cost me $11. They paid $11 for it to go to them. I don't feel that I owe that $11 in shipping back to them. I usually always, if it's any other reason or it's something I've done wrong, I refund it all. But in this respect, they bought the wrong thing and said they bought the wrong. It was their mistake. So since it was their mistake, I didn't refund them back the shipping. And then the next day, I got a bad review on it because I was at that time like I haven't had a bad review yet. If they say something, I don't care. But that knocked me from 100% to 99.6.4 of them. That's a lot for one bad review. Yeah.
well, and it's because of how small you are. Like if I was to have one right now, it would screw my complete store. Because that's another
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
eBay bases it off of the total number average, which can be, which I get it. That's probably the most straightforward way to base it. It probably is. But for stores that are smaller, especially if it's something out of their control, which I think is
Yeah.
also why eBay gives you what is like 3 a year or something like that. It's 3 or 5 a year that you can have completely removed. And
I don't know because look, yeah, that you said that to me, right? And I was like, but I swear that the verbiage on that changed now that I have a bad feedback. It now says, hold on, let me click on it. And now it says feedback revision request available. It's just a revision request.
yeah, and that's what they did for me that one time was a revision. It was positive, but they gave me, and that's another sneaky thing that some people will do. They'll leave you a positive stars, but then they'll put a bad comment.
Yeah.
And so they actually just basically took away their comment, which was awesome. But yeah, see, if you look here, I have feedback revision requests available 5. The reason it's saying that you have 1 available now,
No, I have 5 available.
or
I
that
didn't
you
say that.
have, it is because you got a negative feedback.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, but I would also report that to eBay. I would say this seems a little bit of extortion to me. And what they will do from their rules generally is that if they agree, they will block his account for 30 to 60 days on the first offense, depending upon how bold he is or what they feel about it.
Yeah.
And then if he does it again, they will his account. That's according.
He's got 1,477 reviews, and he's 100% positive.
That
Whatever
doesn't.
he's doing is working.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever he's doing is working. But if he's extorting and they agree, it doesn't matter how many. It says it doesn't say
Yeah.
they'll make an exception for somebody who's got high marks. It just says if you break our rules, and extortion is one of the rules. It says if you break our rules, we have the right to suspend you, first offense, warn you, suspend you, depending upon the severity, or terminate your account, or follow this process, and where they'll warn you or suspend you 30 or 60 days. And then they also reserve the right to kick you off their platform. So now, whether they've ever done it or not, I don't know. I guess we could Google how many people actually get banned from eBay on a yearly basis. That'd be a good thing. Let's look it up. eBay does not disclose that. Looking on eBay community. But yeah, AI says eBay does not disclose that.
All right, so I took the comment and put it in Chat GPT. This is there. I said, does this look like extortion to you? And then the comment you provided could be seen as implying a threatening or pressuring, but is explicit enough to be extortion. However, it does contain elements of implied concern. Here's where it breaks down the problem. You're describing the issue, scratch disk. The reseller might not have checked it before shipping. That could be untrue. Implying a demand, or maybe you'll send me something for it. This implies that the seller might need to offer a replacement to get the feedback removed.
I think I would copy that right there. I would just take a copy of that, put it on Word, and I would send that exact same thing to eBay.
Yeah.
I would. Because to me, that's okay. So if it's a 55 mile per hour zone on a highway,
yeah,
most cops will not stop you if you're running 60. But technically, you are still speeding. And they have every right to stop you and write you a ticket. And if one is having a bad day and you're running 60 in a 55 and they stop you, the worst thing from experience, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, the worst thing you do is say, why are you being a dick? Trust me, that doesn't go over well. You will get a ticket for a 60 and a 55, and the judge will not throw it out. And I'll tell you why they won't throw it out at that, because the cop has already told them they were being a dick.
It says it's not extortion if in the overall of it, but yes, there's definitely an implied thing there that, hey, if you do something, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'll change this feedback.
Yeah, and I think
maybe he missed the window. Maybe he buys too much stuff and he never checked it, and it was after the fact. He should have still just sent me a note. And I would have fixed it.
Yeah, but maybe you'll send me something to make me feel better. No, you can't expect that. You don't go into Walmart and say, I'm sorry, but what I bought the other day turns out to be bad. I don't want to return it at all. I'm not going to return it, but I think you should give me something to make up for it.
Yeah.
You don't do that at Walmart. Walmart will be looking at you like, what? Do you have your receipt you want to return? No, I'm not returning it. And I just decided that maybe Walmart should give me something for my trouble. They're not going to do that. Anyway,
I copied the thing from ChatGPT. I'm going to reword it a little bit because it's not saying I, or it's in like the third person. And I'm going to take that, put it in there, and send it off to eBay and say, hey, I don't think this is right. I would have 100%.
What I would do is ask eBay. I wouldn't say, I don't think this is right. I'd say, what is your thoughts on this? Because my thoughts are this. But I'm curious, what is eBay's? Because I'm a new seller. I've only been here a couple of years. What is eBay's thoughts on this? Because what you're going to find there is they're going to send you back and they're going to say, this is okay. And you can say, okay, all right. And then I would save them saying it's okay from then on. And I would do that to every stinking seller out there whenever I bought anything.
Like, maybe you might want to send me something stuff to you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I need it.
Yeah. If they come back with you that this is okay, I want a copy of that. I'm going to start buying a lot on eBay and doing that, waiting 30 days and putting out the fee. I'm going to start doing that to my buyers. Maybe you should send me something. I really didn't appreciate selling that to you. Maybe, just maybe, You'll make me feel better. Maybe, huh? I don't know. If you send me something out of your closet with a tag on it.
The problem is you can't leave negative feedback for buyers, so it's not going to work.
Yeah,
Like this,
now
they're just
actually
going to be like, "This guy's insane."
you can leave negative feedback for buyers. You actually
No,
can.
you can't.
Yes, you
You
can.
can't do. You got to hit positive. You can write negative words, but it always has to be positive.
I think they've changed that.
I don't think so,
Yeah.
but I'll try it. If I can, I'll send this guy a negative. I already sent him. I right now because I've already done the positive
If you've
feedback.
already done the
See,
positive, you can't go back and do it. You
yeah.
can't. And see, that's the other thing too is I don't think he can actually go fix his negative review. I think once it's sent, it's set in stone. But I don't know. That's another thing we don't
No, I can ask him to revise it. He can go in and revise it to positive and say, "Hey, it all worked
really.
out
I
because
can't. It
Billy
don't
Bob
give
did
me an
this."
option. Anything that I've bought, it doesn't give me the ability to revise it. I can reply,
There's a
but
one-shot deal. You can fill out this thing and you can send it to them, and if they read it, they can revise it. But you have a one-shot deal. I'm not exactly sure how it works. 'Cause I've never had it happen, but I've heard it on a couple different podcasts. There is a way you can ask them to revise it.
anyway, man, that sucks. If that happened to me, at least it's only point 0.4. That's my thing is at least it's only point
Oh, yeah,
0.4. Because with
yeah,
me
yeah.
right now, one, Lord, I've only got 67 good, so it would knock me
It
down.
would knock you down. It would knock you down to the point that you would have to start a new account.
Yeah.
Because once you get under 97%, that's when it hits you. So it's not a big deal. It's not going to change that. And I keep hearing on the zeitgeist that 100% isn't real. So if you have at least one negative, it's more real to the people out there.
Not to me. I only buy on eBay from people with 100%. I
I
might
don't.
consider a 99, but most of what I
Yeah.
see is 97, 98.
But if
I,
you saw you had the perfect thing, you needed to buy it, and it was on somebody's thing, and then you went, they were at 98.7. And then you were like, "Oh, why?" And then you look at the negative comments, and the negative comments are that could be subjective, but they put a nice thing in there and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry you didn't like it. I do have a free return policy. I would have let you ship it back and paid the shipping 100%." Things like that that I think people read. But do even people read feedback? I
I
do.
don't. I
I do.
do. I don't know. I don't know. I do. I do it on Amazon. I read a lot of feedback even when I'm on Amazon
Oh
because
yeah. So I told you those heaters I bought, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So I got these heaters. They were $195 heater. But I didn't really. So I looked at the pictures. I didn't look at the dimensions of the item. On me, 100%. But they showed them in a room, and the bed was here, and the heater was like this much above the bed, blowing heat on it. They showed it in the living room with a mother and daughter on a couch, and it's over here in the corner, and it looks as tall as the couch. Yeah, they were 16 inches tall. They were like this tall. They were the shittiest little heaters. And when I went back and looked at them, the MSRP went from $195, 75% off, to now $69 and 20% off for the same price I paid. And in the reviews, there's all these people saying, "This is not a $200 heater. I don't know why you said it was." And it says it would do a whole room. Yeah, no, I put that on the patio last night when we got back in here from going out. And I have a patio heater out there. But this thing is supposed to be the bee's knees. You couldn't even feel it. I'm like, this is crap. So I returned those.
Amazon sellers do not have to go through as much as we do on eBay. And here's why I say this. Looking at stuff today, I'm looking at different things because I'm remodeling the room here and I'm trying to find a particular. I was like, I need a hole saw to cut for the recessed lighting. So I'm looking on eBay, I'm looking at Lowe's, I'm looking at Home Depot. I don't really go to Menards because we don't have Menards local. So I guess I could have it shipped. But anyway, and I'm looking on eBay, Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, Harbor Freight, all the ones around. And I come across this one and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't quite look right. And I'm looking and they don't have any dimensions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of pictures on Amazon and stuff that has dimensions, but this one doesn't have this. You go and see, there's a lot on Amazon that just doesn't have dimensions. And I'm like,
Well,
what are you doing? Because on
and I
eBay,
don't think I don't think this had a picture of the dimensions because it's the last picture now. And I'm thinking they threw that out there for their Black Friday sale, and it said like 700 sold in the last 24 hours. I'm like, that's a great deal. They took a $200 heater, and they show it in the room. It looks like it is 8 inches above a bed, and it looks like it's as tall as a couch. So I'm thinking it's 30 inches tall or decent height. And then it shows up. Well, we were out, and I'm like, those heaters are coming today because I was going to put one on the patio and put one in the garage, and it says it'll heat 600 square feet. I'm like, this is going to be a really nice heater. And then, oh, they delivered, and I looked at the package, and the package was like this big. I'm
It's
like,
like,
what is going on?
yeah. Well, see,
And then
that's
I went back and looked at the item, and it went from a $200 item to a $70 item, and there was dimensions in there of 16 inches tall. I'm like, oh, I don't think that was it. And then I tried to explain that to the wife. Yeah, I don't think that picture, it was there. And then I show her the picture. She's like, no, it looks like the item. I said, but look at it in correspondence with the,
yeah, the
no.
surroundings. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, that's just they just stuck that in that picture. I'm like, I agree, but you would think you'd stick it in there so that it was to scale. You know how on there you look at it in a room.
Yeah, they don't, and they do that a lot. And what I love too is they'll show a picture of one item that's they'll list like the same. It'll be the same thing, but
Mhm.
12 different sizes or colors or whatever. And they will list the one item with the sizes that is the largest one, and
Yeah,
then they don't change. It's like, really? But anyway, you couldn't get by with that on eBay. eBay would
but
slam you
beyond
for
that,
that.
the thing put out no heat. It was like I was like, it was. I turned it on high and stuck my hand like this far from it. I'm like, yeah, okay, it does put out heat, but it's nothing. There's no way that would heat up a 500 square foot room.
I guess this is a good segue. So we already talked about favorite buyers. We skipped over me because,
Yeah.
uh, but this is a good segue to talk about things we have learned this week because it sounds to me like you've learned some things on Amazon buying small
Hmm.
heaters. You've learned that there is feedback revision, which we knew that before,
Yeah.
and you've learned that there might be a polite way to extort somebody.
Exactly. It's been a busy week.
It's been a learning week for you.
Yeah, no, I've been learning left and right.
So, is there anything else you've learned before I get into what I've learned?
I'm sure there is, but go ahead. You let me think about it because I really didn't think about that.
Well, one of the things I've learned, and some of you guys that have been following our podcast for a long time and we're buddies with as well, know that, in fact, a lot of you sent me pictures because I put it out that I was trying to find a new camera because my iPhone SE from 2020 it's on its last leg, folks. And while it still takes great pictures, it won't store many and it doesn't like to do it. And I was like, you know what? I want to get a little fancier. So I've been looking at all these different cameras, and thank you for everyone that sent me suggestions. But I was playing around today and I was like, wait a minute. So I have learned now that with my laptop, granted it's old as it can be too, but I'm getting ready to look at replacing it. And the camera that you guys are looking at right now, which is it gets fuzzy every now and again when I do something, I guess get close to it, I don't know. But it takes really good pictures. And so I was playing around with it today. And what is funny is I can actually, and so I wanted to check eBay and see if they have a way for you to auto load because I've been looking at some things like that. You can actually take pictures with this camera and your computer and separate it out so that it stores them on an SD card or a external hard drive. So then you've always got them. Now, not only that, but I have here in this particular computer, I have different settings where I can do multiple shots. And so I tested one today just to see what would happen. I took like a lazy Susan. Yeah, that's a remote for is that for the PC?
It's a Bluetooth remote, so I bet you it would work with the
I bet it
PC.
would too.
And then you can just move it, and you
What
don't have
I
to.
did today just to test it was I put a small item on a little mechanical turntable and
Hmm.
I spun it slowly and I set the shutter time and it clicked and I got basically like 10 pictures, all different angles of that thing, of that item. And I was like, see, that's cool. So there is some ways you can do this. And so now I'm thinking, okay, so how far will my camera reach? And I was actually able, because we talk about, and Mike knows what I'm talking about, he's going to be shaking his head. You always know that there's voltage drop and there's all this drop, especially over low voltage items such as USB. But I was actually able to do a 20-foot cord.
So you got an extension?
Yeah, and still have the same quality pictures, which is really good, and still have everything running. So my thoughts are I'm going to incorporate a USB drop in my eBay room
There
so
you go.
that I can move my camera or whatever and set it up and do some things like that with, and it'll even take video too.
Yeah,
And here's a kicker, because you guys, we've been having trouble with videos uploading on eBay because they got to meet certain parameters, whatever. You can actually set those parameters on your computer and do it through the camera like this. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that. And some of you out there going, you dummy. I know that. I appreciate that. But sometimes I'm a little slow to catch on. But this is awesome. And I'm not even going to have to buy a new camera. I'm just going to be able to do it. I probably do want to buy another external drive or flash drive or something like that that's rather large to hold all the stuff. Because my big thing is I have to delete them because my phone won't hold them.
yeah.
And so if I need to go back and reload a picture or something like that, I don't have it. I have to go retake it all over again.
Because I delete them too. I have plenty of storage, but yeah, it seems like a lot of work.
What I'm thinking here is I can do it and categorize it and save it as the item SKU code and always come back to it so it'll be more organized. Because, okay, so again, I'll show this particular watch right here. I hate this watch, by the way. I hate it. This one right here, let me get it in the camera view.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm holding it because I got the back out of it because right now I'm having to do a stem repair on it. But this model right here, this is the cheapest piece of crap. If you see these in any pocket watch lots, don't even count them. They sell for $3 on eBay, which is astronomically low and stupid. You can get these on Temu for $1.89. You can get them on Alibaba for $1.50. Everybody and their mother has these watches. What I end up generally doing is putting them in lots or taking the parts out of them to use for other watches because they're just not worth selling. But anyway, what was I? Where was I going
Yeah.
with it?
You went on a
Yeah, I
tangent. I
went on a
like it.
tangent there. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There was something I was going to say about it. We might have to back up and record a bit slow. But basically, I don't even remember. There you go. Don't buy this watch. There you go. There you got something out of it. But anyway, I'm going to basically try to figure out how to use the camera here to do it and make it go and make it work because I really think that it will do it and I can store. Oh, I was going to talk about storing pictures. Once I get rid of all these, I'll still have the pictures of them. And if I get one in, I just reload the listing that it came from so that,
That's cool.
and I can reload pictures or whatever if you're storing them. So that's something I've learned there. Now I came back. There we go. So that was what I was going with. Once you take the pictures, if you can store them, you can come back to them whenever you get another item. Because I may go out of those and then get them back in sometime down the road, and I have to retake the pictures all over again. Because eBay does, believe it or not. I've only been in a little over a year, and there's already, I cannot recall all of my sold items. It doesn't give, I can recall information about it, sell what it sold for, the fees, but all the
Mm-hmm.
pictures, there's only like the main thumbnail is all I've got. So eBay does, because they're storing that stuff on their servers, they do go and they get rid of all your pictures. You've got a thumbnail, but you guys know one little picture ain't going to get you there. So if you go back
Right.
in to try to relist it from that, you can't really. All right. Anything else you learned? This has been a good rambling show. We've rambled.
Yes. Rambling. We're rambling then.
This is probably one of the best ones
You
we've
know,
done in a while.
I've learned definitely if you want to take a picture of something and you want to distort the size, you just need to take it out of focus a little bit. That's depending on what kind of you're making.
Or take two pictures
Mm-hmm.
and set the one in the other and blend it.
I've learned listing definitely sparks more sales. I had a better week because I listed some, and I've had a great weekend.
I would like to see you get to the 5,000 and then take 2
Yeah.
weeks. I know this sounds crazy, folks. Don't do this, okay? But I'm going to ask him just for craps and giggles because he and I are always. You guys have suggestions, send them to us. We love trying to play around with stuff. This is what we used to
Yeah.
do when we played our online game. Was we like, oh, I wonder if we did this. I wonder if once he gets to 5,000 items, if he takes 2 weeks off, just doesn't list a thing, if he'll still
Lord
sell a
knows.
huge amount.
I
Because
don't know.
I,
Yeah,
there's
I'm at 20. I'm at 3,400 items, but 1,000 of them are cards. I did sell 2 cards this week. I sold an $11 card. Woohoo!
but I'm thinking there's got to be a point. There's got to be a point where you have so much stuff out there
Yeah,
that you're selling anyway.
yeah. I'm at 5,000. So,
There's got to be
uh,
a point of it.
and I kick myself in the butt all the time because I could be much more efficient. I could do more. I watch a lot more TV than I ever watched in my life in the last 2 months. Yeah.
Well, as far
Uh,
as today, honestly, I think these guys who list every day, and don't shoot
yeah.
me, guys, if you guys that we're friends with are the guys that do this, but if you list every day, God bless you. Because me, nah, I don't list on Sundays. I don't. I'm not going to. I would schedule something, but since scheduling is not working, I'm not really going to do it. I've scheduled it before, but I'm not going to sit here and take pictures. Sunday's a day to chill with the family and get ready for God knows our work the next day on Monday.
Yeah.
Now, you guys who are full time, you don't necessarily have that, but I do think you need a day where you, at least one day a week, where you just sit around and don't do jack squat.
I agree. We'll see. I probably should be over 4,000 already, and I'm not. Plus, I've been selling a decent amount, so I can't complain about that.
Well, and you may, if we took all your sales, you're probably way over it, but
Yeah.
you do have to replace those. But let me get my little trusty dusty calculator
I'd rather
here.
never get the 5,000 if I keep selling everything. That's fine. But
You realize if you just list 50 things, if you just list 10 things a day,
yeah.
10 things a day, 5 days a week, at the
Hmm.
end of the year, you'll have 2,600 items. Realistically, if you were just doing 10 things a day, 10 items a day, and replacing what you sold plus 10 items, now that would have to
I'll
be the
get there.
thing, you would get there in 2 years easy.
Yeah.
But I do think you go on listing binges.
I do go on binges. I get hot, and then I'll do 112 in a day. Then the next day, I'm like,
I
I'm
did,
good
I
for 10
did
days.
112 yesterday, so
Let's go to the pool. Hang out at the pool. It's finally cold enough out that I can't get in the pool. Actually, my pool is heated. I did get in the pool this morning, but it was like 53 degrees out there. My pool is 92 degrees, so it's beautiful in the pool. You just gotta, when you get out, you gotta run to
how
the
many of
house.
y'all want his address to go shoot him now for saying his crap? Because it's 30 degrees where I'm at now.
It's so cold. I
The
had to
other
put a
day,
heater.
he
I
was
bought
like,
a garage
"It's
heater. I
cold.
didn't,
I've got my heater in the garage." I looked it up. It was 67 degrees where he was at, and it
that's
was
not true. It was
36.
61 degrees in my garage when I put the
It's
heater on.
36 degrees here, and I need a heater.
Well, hey, man, I'm sorry. I decided not to live in that. I grew up in Pennsylvania. It was cold there. It's colder than where you are.
Probably. I'm,
And my third grade year of school, I lived in the Pocono Mountains and I had to walk uphill both ways in the snow. We lived here. The hill went down like this, and then the bus stop was up over here. So each way was uphill, both ways in the snow. It's horrible.
my son was the same way. It was until we moved to the location, which he actually owns that house now, that he spent a lot of his time growing up in, that I realized, hey, you actually can walk uphill both ways
You do? I did.
because it
Massive hill.
down one hill and up the next and down and up the next.
Uh huh.
But anyway, what do we have?
Uphill
Do you
both
have any
ways.
eBay news for us?
I do have eBay news for you.
Let's have some eBay news, and then we're gonna wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone, because we're getting close to that magical time when you're going to start dawning, going to sleep on us. If you're driving,
Yes.
please don't do that.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. So, did you see the eBay EVO Global Branding Initiative? Have you checked that out?
No.
I was checking it out this week because I am so busy with other things. But if you want to check it out, it's at playbook.ebay.com. So if you check that, it has all their talks all about what it's about, something they're rolling out. So eBay has undergone a significant transformation with the launching of eBay Evo, an evolved brand and design system that places enthusiasm at its core of its experience. I probably should have read this before, huh? The update reflects eBay's evolution from a simple online auction site to a global marketplace. So this is across the whole world. Now, the goal of eBay
Okay.
Evo is to deliver consistent flexibility across eBay's global platforms, enhancing both the product and customer experience.
Sounds to me like eBay is trying to move in the direction of Amazon.
Yeah. Key points: brand evolution. The Evo integrates refreshed look to all of its designs. It's consistent across all of its global marketplaces. So I guess before this, eBay wasn't exactly the same everywhere. So now it's all consistent. Customer centric strategy, things people love. Have you seen those commercials? Things people love. That's the thing they're pushing out. That has part to do with this. If you watch like on YouTube, I've seen them on there. I haven't seen them on regular TV. It's commercials that they're using. It's passion driven visual identity designed enthusiasm through the community throughout visually identifying and emphasizing the discovery of connections. Wow.
eBay, we already have Facebook and we already have Amazon. You just
Mm,
be eBay, okay? I'm fine with you getting consistent across platforms.
yeah.
I will tell you the thing I hate, and that's why you start, if you look at a lot of my listings, and it sounds like this is where it's going, but if you look at quite a few of my listings, I will literally put American seller, item already in the US, no wait from China.
Yeah.
Because
That's a nice. It's true.
they have put China, they have allowed Chinese companies to actually begin eBay accounts, and they're putting it on there. And if you look at the shipping, though, if you pay close attention, the shipping can take a long time. I'm not waiting 12 weeks. What?
Yeah.
That's literally like 4 months? 3, 4 months?
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
waiting
the
3 months.
evolution of eBay through Evo is just beginning, with plans to continue enhancements with the platform developing new products and fostering a sense of discovery and enthusiasm worldwide. If you want to check it out, and I did, playbook.ebay.com. If you go there, it's a cool website that they have and just talks about the whole thing.
Sounds like the
A lot of
hippies
hype.
have taken over eBay.
Yeah. All right. Other thing with eBay is the eBay's developer loyalty program. They're making changes to the developer loyalty program aimed at supporting top performing third party developers. They will now have levels of membership. This is more about people that are helping us. So they're developers
Okay.
to enhance eBay. So that's cool. They're starting to reach out to them. They have a gold's top performers, silver's up and coming, and bronze is small but promising. So that's cool. And then they get different levels of stuff:
That's what she said.
concierge level of service for members, expanded benefits, guidelines, and future development. Yeah, the update is to provide a stronger support and clear guidelines for developers, which is good because I think eBay has held on to a lot of this stuff very closely and not open source their stuff. It seems like they're starting to open up to maybe if you use List Perfectly or Vindu or one of those things, that it'll communicate better and probably in the long run be good for us sellers.
I think you're right. I couldn't
Yeah.
resist throwing that little comment in there though when you said small and promising.
Yes. So more detailed information about that will come out in February.
Sweet. I think that, and I do think that's good because the more open a platform is, the more it is subject to. But there's a lot of things in place now to prevent that. And I think as long as eBay is careful with it and does what they're supposed to, I think it is going to be better for us as sellers. I think it's going to be better for buyers. And hopefully, because we know the eBay techs have no idea what AI really should be because you can search for something and something totally different comes up. The new AI platform is absolutely out of its mind. Please, good God. I can see it now. eBay's AI takes over instead of Terminator. What was on
Yeah.
Terminator? What was the name of the AI on Terminator?
Net,
Yes,
net.
Skynet. eBay's AI. We ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. We kick its butt.
It's out there shooting trees. I mean,
I got one more news story that was interesting I read this week. It was USPS launches e-commerce platform called Santa's Gift Shop. So the USPS launched a seasonal e-commerce platform called Santa's Gift Shop, powered by Toys R Us, to help people donate gifts to USPS Operation Santa.
powered by Toys
The,
R Us. I thought they were gone.
Apparently, they still are there. An initiative that began 112 years ago, known as letter adopters. So, what they're doing is kids write letters to Santa. Then there's people that take those letters and they would buy them gifts from the wish list and ship them to them. So, they've now digitalized that. So, now instead of The people having to go find the stuff and buy the stuff, they can actually go on this Toys R Us Santa's gift shop, buy things from there, and the shipping is super cheap because the postal service is covering some of the shipping. So
That's
to
awesome.
keep everything's going ground advantage, you get it there quickly and cost effective. The Postal Service hopes to expand the catalog in the future, getting a wider range of items like clothing and books. Right now, I think it's just toys because Toys R Us. So that's cool that they're doing that. That hey, if you want to be a letter adopter and you want to send this stuff to them, you can actually go to our website that we are partnering with Toys R Us, and we'll ship it right to the people.
That's pretty cool.
It's
That
super
is
cool.
really cool. Just another side note there. So you go to santasgiftshop.com. Is that what it is?
More information can be found at USPS OperationSanta.com.
Okay. Another government website, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone, just for you if you have small kids. I know this always helped getting my kids in bed is the NORAD Santa tracker, because you can actually it tracks Santa. And if you've not read that story, go read it. Maybe we'll bring it up in another podcast. We get closer to the time. It's sad this one's coming out in January.
I know.
You should go ahead and
But
post
it will
this
be
one.
out on audio for the audio listener
Go to look up
tomorrow.
Google NORAD Santa tracker and Google the story. It's a cute story. Everybody knows who NORAD is, but apparently the NORAD number got published by, I think it was Sears, by mistake. And they started this thing way back when in like the 50s or 60s. I don't remember the exact date, so don't hold me to it. But I would always use it. Now it's an app you can download on your phone and you can show your little kids, hey, Santa's about to be here. Go to bed. So that's another cool thing. So I'm glad to see USPS jumping in there on that. That's awesome.
All right, let me show you the website. It's really cool.
All right, let's see the website right quick.
All right, so it's USPS Operation Santa. You go in here, you can write a letter to Santa or you can adopt the letter. And if you click on adopt the letter, it randomly brings up a letter.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, and at the bottom you can hit adopt the letter. If you adopt the letter, you're going to send them stuff. So you can go and read different letters by different kids and find one that appeals to you, and you can send them stuff.
Well, don't click on it just yet because we don't want somebody not to get a letter back from.
No, I'm not going to do that. But it's super cool.
That is cool. That's awesome. That is really cool. I think if you don't mind, email me that. I think I'm gonna put that out at some local organizations I know of, where some of the people might actually find that really neat. Some of the elderly folks might find that really neat to write a letter back as Santa to the kids. It's really awesome. Help brighten, give everybody a smile. This is really a good time of the year. So that's awesome.
You can just listen to the podcast and get the same information. I'm just saying.
I figure you could just send it to me. I would have to listen to this.
Again, you guys have wasted a perfectly good hour with me and my counterpart, Joel.
And we
Thank you
appreciate
again.
it so much.
We do. And you know what?
And we
if you
really
only made
do.
it 12 minutes in, you won't hear this, but we still like you.
We really do appreciate it with the bottom of our hearts. Check out our subscribers. We got a whole lot, like 6 now since you migrated over. Five. Okay.
Six,
and I think Ben's and I are one of them each.
No, I didn't subscribe.
I did.
I did subscribe, but when I subscribe, it doesn't count. Maybe
I'm one of them. So
one of them.
We're obviously not
But
doing this
two
for
of them.
money. So we really do. When we say we appreciate you, we really do appreciate you. We need to get one of them.
Come back again next
get one
week
of them
so we
live
can
chats.
dazzle you with our jazz hands.
I see so many of these guys that do these live ones, and they get money.
Yeah, we got to get there. We got to get to 500 subscribers and 2,000 watch hours on the thing before they'll even let you do that. So we're a little ways away from that.
We're screwed.
We were there on CJ Ben's Finds, actually.
We're screwed.
Yeah. I decided, no, I don't want a $50 super chat. I'd rather relaunch it and try to do better. So we'll see.
Hey, it's always worth a shot.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we appreciate each one of you watching. I know we've got some guests who are supposed to be coming on over the next few episodes. That's going to be always an interesting and a special occasion.
Yeah, so the guests will probably be pushed out till January.
Okay, we're pushing it out.
I don't want to bring them on here and only have it on the audio podcast because most of them are YouTube people that can push us out there to their group. And they really would like to be able to say, hey, I'm on this podcast.
Sorry, guys who are listening and watching on Spotify.
Hey, if you have a Spotify podcast that has a lot of listeners, come on. or even 7 listeners. I'm good. I don't care. If you have a podcast and you want to be on this podcast,
My
come on. I'll
biggest
come on your
thing,
podcast. You can come on ours.
I would like to get one guest to come on who actually is just starting their eBay store.
We keep saying that.
Yeah, it's great to have people with more experience because I learn a lot. But I also think it'd be, you can learn a lot from new ones too, who are like, hey, this isn't something new to me, brand new, and this is things I'm thinking. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for the last hour of your time, and we will catch you next time.
See ya.